The Swiss have also just claimed their rightful ownership of northern Italy. I don't think anyone would dispute this. Pretty sure they have legitimate claims here. Honestly, I should have known. Of course, the Swiss would have their best game ever when we do a video about no war. This is their specialty. So you guys know me, okay? I've had a lot of dumb videos in the past. I mean, if you've been on the channel for longer than a week, you'll notice that's kind of a reoccurring theme here. But this might be the stupidest of all, because we're about to watch an entire HOI4 campaign without any wars. Even focuses aren't gonna have an impact here, because every nation was given a generic tree. You'll notice that all the great powers, like the Soviets and Germans, are just doing basic things. Even some of the minor nations that are given like unique trees also are kind of just doing generic focuses. Which means the Rhineland won't be militarized, the US won't be guaranteeing the entire Western Hemisphere, no national spirits are going to be removed or added. It's all going to stay exactly like this. The only way these nations are going to be able to release some anger is through microaggressions. Okay, all these countries are going to be doing small microaggressions to release some of their built-up frustration. And basically what I mean is border conflicts. Border conflicts everywhere. Not just any border conflicts though, chaotic border conflicts. I've never used this mod before, and I don't know if it's going to be all that satisfying. I might have made a huge mistake, but I've done videos in the past where the entire world's at war, whether it's at the same time or there's like a battle royale scenario, just nothing but war. Why haven't we done like a peaceful scenario? Whew, okay, I almost messed up real bad. I almost forgot to release all these nations, and this should make this campaign a little bit more bearable since now any country can technically have a pretty good game. Factions are intact, even though that's kind of pointless. Puppets aren't though. All puppets have been released. They're free to do whatever they want. But this is a good sign. I don't think anyone's ever seen Nepal with these borders before. I think we're off to a good start. I've already noticed about 6 or 7 different incidents happening around the globe. This is pretty nice. They're even occurring on some of the most boring parts of the map. Laos has just become the first nation to be completely destroyed in a video without any war. That's impressive. No, actually, I do think that's going to be a pretty common thing. I'm fully expecting that to kind of continue to happen. As for Europe, things look not too crazy. Oh, what have I done? I should probably put some sort of disclaimer in the front of this video. I don't think anyone below the age of consent should be watching this. These borders are already sexually assaulting my eyes. It's 1937, and East Asia is just unbearable. Completely destroyed. I mean, just Tibet, go home. You're clearly drunk. Strangely, the great powers are some of the only nations that haven't really moved much. Like, Germany looks the exact same. Except they did remilitarize the... How did they do that? That's freaky. Stalin's done quite a bit, and now that I think about it, I mean, he might be in the best situation just to destroy everything. He just has so much land. I think my money's on him. Since there are no wars here, we have Franco immediately taking power in Iberia, so we'll see if he eventually attacks Portugal, or, I mean, has a microaggression against Portugal. Big difference, big difference. South America also looks pretty interesting right now. This mod has done the impossible. But it looks like the Brazilians have the upper hand here. I want to say as time goes by, I think things are actually going to look a lot better because a lot of these nations are going to consolidate. A lot of places are going to be destroyed as well. So my hopes are high. British Malaya, I believe, is the second nation to be destroyed. Although I don't know if Luxembourg is still around. We should probably go check. Oh yeah, no, clearly not. I should have known. Surprised that Belgium actually didn't take this territory. Portugal also having a pretty good game. They've united their 2 colonies, as well as I did notice they picked up some territory in Raj. That's actually pretty big. 2 years in, and there's only 3 Central American nations left. That is pretty amazing. Mexico might be the one to just wipe them all out though. And Dominican Hitler has just taken over Haiti. Well, pack it up. That's all you're gonna be doing in this game. Whoa, Yemen just almost completely united in this peninsula. They wiped out the Saudis and even took some Iraqi territory. Bhutan, I think, is having the game of their life. I've never seen them this big before. On the other hand, Nepal is looking pretty intoxicated. I don't know how they ended up here. I'm surprised that Japan isn't doing a whole lot more. They got this Chinese territory over this way. I figured, they would kind of utilize that. At the same time, we've got this warlord that is just pulling out miracles. Just taking all this territory over here. Oh man, Europe, please make it stop. It's mainly in the east. The west isn't too bad. Venezuela, can we talk? What What did you do with Colombia? You wouldn't have to be selling cocaine now, would you? This might be the most impressive thing of all. I mean, we've got a whole nation over here that turned itself into 3 different nations. Kind of. They're multiplying. Oh, you should have realized this. Trotsky has taken over. That's what happens when you don't have a focus tree. I mean, what was Stalin gonna do? Send an assassin after him and put an ice pick through his head? You know, you would think that Poland would have had a fantastic game over here, but I mean, I don't know. I expected a whole lot more. Finally, the US strikes. I was wondering when it was gonna happen. Not sure why the democracies aren't doing that much. Maybe it's world tension or something. Either way. At least Quebec finally got their independence. Just a couple countries that are having like the greatest game ever. Portugal, Yemen, Yunin. I can't believe I'm even saying that sentence. They're all just doing really well here. Oh, and don't forget about just the greatest comeback of all time. Tibet, who I believed had like 2 states at one point, moved all the way up north, grabbing Mongolia and Tanutuva. The Dalai Lama don't play. Of course, no matter what universe it is, Korea was always meant to be separated. South Korea and this new North Korea. Can't wait for them to start testing some nukes. Yeah, no, I actually love the fact that the great powers aren't having an impact at all. I mean, they're just chilling here. We're really just focused on the smaller places. Whoa, wait a second. How the hell did this pop up? This might kind of throw a wrench in our plans. I'm kind of okay with it because I just want to see what's going to happen. I'm assuming obviously all these nations are now working together, which explains how Mao is still alive and some of these other countries. Well, let's see how this plays out. Oh man, just the ultimate Irish slap in the face. It's just so beautiful though. And as I thought, Mexico kind of just wiped out all these nations with the help of Venezuela, although they aren't gonna last much longer. I continue to be shocked by this video. Raj is gone. They're gone completely. That's like the biggest surprise so far. I'm assuming this faction probably had a pretty big part of that. Things in Western Europe are finally starting to kick into high gear. France is preparing to surrender to Spain and the Dutch, surprisingly. Also, Italy lost some land. I know, looking at these borders, one would assume there's a whole lot of war going on, but no, nothing officially at least. Minor skirmishes, that's it, but for the most part, it's a very peaceful world. Liberia and Ethiopia are kicking out Europeans from Africa. That just sounds like a terrible fan fiction. The Swiss have also just claimed their rightful ownership of northern Italy. I don't think anyone would dispute this. Pretty sure they have legitimate claims here. Honestly, I should have known. Of course, the Swiss would have their best game ever when we do a video about no war. This is their specialty. Japan formed a new faction, but they're kind of being overshadowed by this Chinese team, who is somehow just taking it to Trotsky. They're just whooping over here. And this is the first notification I've seen pop up for the entire game. And man, it's a unique one. I should mention, this video surprisingly has some ideological changes. Iran went fascist, as well as I've noticed a couple other countries going either fascist or communist. Poland, for instance, is feeling kind of commie. I don't know if they're gonna actually make the change, but they're going in that direction. They're also just doing generally a lot better than they started. Oh man, our people like Portugal and the Siamese are slowly getting kicked off of continental Asia. This Chinese United Front is just doing a lot of damage. And the US, who has been really calm, now I guess slowly starting to do something. They took their first state from Mexico. Even though Liberia isn't as big as they once were, I mean, let's give them some credit. They obviously had the best game ever, as well as, they last longer than places like Bhutan, Tanutuva, Albania, and Luxembourg. And surprisingly, out of all the release nations, who typically don't do very well since they don't start off with any divisions, Korea did amazing. I mean, they're still moving, and they're still around, unlike all the others. And I think we gotta give Tibet the greatest migration award. This is the longest journey I've ever seen a single country make, at least in HOI4. And they survived for 8 years. That's incredible. Anyways, at this point, there's kind of a whole lot of stalemates going on. I mean, the border conflicts aren't nearly progressing as fast as they did in the very beginning of the game. That's just because a lot of people have a bunch of divisions. These are the factions, nothing too crazy. I thought that maybe there would be one more that popped up. That did not happen, but a pretty fun game. I mean, for a video with no war, I was not expecting it to be this good. And we saw a lot of nations that don't normally do well have very, very good campaigns. I don't know. I found this interesting. This was far more entertaining than it really should have been. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. A big thanks to Furry Cruz, Daddy Seabean, Mr. Fister, Yeet God McNeckass, Jen's Love Disc, Tanner of the Nazareth, Thick Dick Girl Breakson, Drew's Crack Baby,
King Solomon, Kiwi Supreme, Dr. Freaky,
Franco is Thick, Maxi G, Swiss Argo, Sean Spillman, Jake Paul's My Daddy, Bruce Vacation, Elijah Senpai, Raging Fruit, Delta Aurora, Kirby, and Alfie C.